What is going on? You are listening and watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Cody Maurice Doggett. Cody is also joining me on Instagram Live as well. Just going to turn that volume down.
Got it.
Yeah.
I thought I did, and it didn't do it.
I think it was me too. How you doing, Cody?
Hey, boo. What's going on? Hello, darling. What's up with you?
Hey. I know. Hi, Cray Ben. This is fun because we're going to give you guys the first segment of our Tags Live, and we do this show every Wednesday night on the Get Vocal platform. So we hope that if you're interested in the first bit on Instagram Live, that the show continues over on getvocal.com/channel/tags live. I don't know, Cody, if you could write that in there, but that's the story. Well, let's get into today's show. We got a lot to cover. Hey, Hunter, happy Wednesday to you over there. Actually, we had a great special guest, Cody, on Tuesday's show, episode 265. We had Jen Zier join the show, high-end homo Hunter, and he was really, really great. You got to listen to it, Cody.
Nice. Yeah. I'm going to have to listen to that.
Yeah, he really added a lot to the conversation, and it's always great. We're going to be talking a lot in this episode about unifying us a lot more, not specifically that, but we're going to be talking about older gays and how they parlay into the conversation. We're going to be talking about different groups that the more, I think, unification, I think, is the key, and diversification. So I'm really excited about that. Cody, are you ready for a hot vax summer? Everything's already talking about hot vax summer. And do you even know what that means? Have you heard people talking about hot vax summer? And tell us, are you ready for your hot vax summer on Instagram Live?
Are we making hot vax summer a thing? I'm thinking it might be a thing now. I don't know. Are we making this our new fetch?
You know, it's this whole thing. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about hot vax summer, and as more and more of the country, the world actually gets vaccinated, and as you know, if you just think about a year ago where we were at, and you look at where we're at today, with it's so much, much more optimistic where we are right now. And as we get into springtime, summertime, warm weather, people are planning trips. I think really we're all just horny and thirsty. And that's why hot vax summer, hashtag that, is like the big conversation that everyone's talking about. I mean, I can share with you one thing. I slipped out with my friend the other day, or actually earlier today. It was 86 degrees here in New York City today, and we went over to the pier, and this area of Christopher Street Piers was filled with boys ready. I could hear conversations about the parties. Two boys were next to us, and such teases. They had black thongs on. I don't know if it was Black Thong Wednesday, and they were oiling up their booties, placing them right feet away from us. They were getting it ready. They did not want that tan line. In my mind, they were OnlyFans stars. They both looked like beautiful chocolate brown boys, and
perfect.
Yeah, it was really, really hot.
I cannot wait. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to the pier and wear my thong.
Yeah. Really? Would you wear?
Are we going? I mean, why not? It is a hot vax summer, and I'm vaxxed and waxed. I'm not waxed. I am vaxxed.
You can if you use our sponsor, the Lawnmower by Manscaped. Yep. And just a little tidbit on this. Yeah, you can get this product and any of the Manscaped products by going to manscaped.com. Use our promo code TAGS, TAGS, and get 20% off all products. This will keep you ready to go and for your hot vaxxed summer. But it's interesting because I was on here in New York City, the Eagles website, and not everybody was for. So the Eagle, we've talked about it here in New York City, and I would imagine other bars in the country,
Yeah.
maybe even abroad, are going to require that you are fully vaccinated to enter the bar, prove that you're vaccinated, or have a COVID test 78 hours beforehand. And
Reasonable. Yeah.
I was reading the commentary on Facebook, on the Eagle Facebook, and not everybody was happy for this. They were saying, "Oh, with certain groups of people, groups of colored people, that maybe people that are immunocompromised, for example, that is the Eagle now discriminating?" And they were really coming for them on this Facebook page. And so, as we just learned that the CDC is barely making these recommendations, not everybody around the country is on the same page. Not everybody seemingly wants to get vaccinated. I mean, we do, but
yes.
I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be a shit show this summer or a hot vax summer for those that are vaccinated?
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. I think that it's going to be a shit show, hot vax summer. I think it already is, honestly. I think that I was out yesterday. We walked to the park, me and one of my best friends. She lives upstairs, and it was kind of crazy. I was shocked and taken aback by the things that were going on around me. And I'm no prude by any means, but people were going back into the woods, and I was like, what is he doing in those woods?
Are you talking about Prospect Park? Because I was there last weekend, and it was so much fun. And there's some nooks and crannies in Prospect Park in Brooklyn that I noticed.
I wanted to visit.
My friend,
I've got a boyfriend now.
Yeah, my friend was showing me, and I kind of wanted to go by myself next time and lurk around and see what I see. I don't know. I
need the full details when you do.
Okay, I got to get my hot vax summer going.
That's right.
Interesting tidbit about a lot of people have talked about, as we open up, are we going to have a roaring 20s? For those of you who don't know, when the roaring 20s happened, people literally were on the chandeliers, swinging from the chandeliers practically. It was just things, the war was over, and it was just, crazy town. And interesting tidbit, the Spanish flu preceded the roaring 20s. So if you think about right now, the pandemic and hot vax summer, it's kind of like an interesting parallel. And that if that's true, now, truth be known, the roaring 20s didn't end so well because it ended with the Depression. So
that's true.
Let's hope that which was a bad thing.
I feel like we might almost be in one now, but hopefully we don't go to that space. So,
yeah, it's interesting as people talk about hot vax summer. I hear people talking about parties, and there's a lot of parties happening all around. I'm actually really looking forward to the smaller things, like small get-togethers, just hanging out this summer, going back home. I just want to kind of do some intimate, fun things. I want to go to like Prospect Park and lurk around too.
Is this an invite? Am I being invited to come to your house today? Is that what's happening?
Child,
right now?
You're always invited. A welcome, an open invitation.
Oh, thank you, my darling. Thank you.
And lastly, what can you share about your hot vax summer that you're looking forward to with your new boyfriend?
Well, we're definitely going to the pier, and we're doing that. We're just going to be doing hot vax things. We're going to be going out, enjoying the spaces open and enclosed, because I know a lot of places are trying to make sure that people are vaccinated before. We'll probably go to the Eagle with you. So we need to set that up.
Absolutely. I love it.
We're just going to be enjoying the summer because,
Go
We
ahead. Yeah.
spend so much time uh, indoors and in quarantine. So now it's the time for us to go out, get vaxxed, and have a wonderful time.
Well, we want to hear from you. Let us know, how do you think about your upcoming hot vax summer? Is it going to be all lit or is it going to be toned down? We want to hear from you. Let us know. You can put it in the Get Vocal stream. If you're listening to this afterwards, you can DM me at TAGSPodcast or certainly on our Instagram Live. All right. Well, we couldn't let this story go. Billy Porter comes out as
Yes.
HIV positive after 14 years, Cody, and he
Mm-hmm.
says that the truth is healing. So Billy Porter has come out as HIV positive, revealing that he's been living with the virus for the last 14 years. In an interview he did with the Hollywood Reporter, released Wednesday, Pray Tell, he plays on FX's Pose, he spoke candidly about the shame he's experienced since seroconverting. We all
Mm-hmm.
know what that means
Yes.
and how he's overcome it to find the courage to speak out. Quote, the truth is the healing, he said. He also said that I was the generation, he's 51, so we're kind of the same generation, essentially. I'm
Mm-hmm.
50. I was the generation, he said, that was supposed to know better, and it happened anyway. Porter
Yeah.
told the Hollywood Reporter, it was 2007, he said, the worst year of my life. I was on the precipice of obscurity for about a decade or so. But 2007 was the worst of it. By February, I had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and by March, I signed bankruptcy papers. Well, by June, I was diagnosed, he said, being HIV positive. And Billy Porter went on to recall that he wanted to keep his diagnosis a secret from his mother and
Mm-hmm.
planned to wait until she passed away. She's not going to be here long, and then I'll write my book and come out, and she won't have to live with the embarrassment, he said, of
Wow.
having an
Oh,
HIV
man.
positive child. Well, his mom is still alive, however, and according to Porter, she ain't going anywhere. The 51-year-old actor also revealed it was portraying Pray Tell on Pose, a character who is HIV positive, that allowed him an opportunity to work through the shame. Wow, Cody, what an announcement. What courage. What were your first thoughts when you heard about
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
There's so much to unpack here. First, I want to say coming out in any way, shape, or form or fashion is a completely personal decision. You do so on your own terms and for your own safety, as long as you're keeping everybody safe and everybody's health safe.
Yes.
Now, Billy Porter being so public about his HIV status and just really speaking his truth will help so many people, especially Black and brown people, gay Black and brown men specifically.
Right.
Like, there is so much stigma and shame that is associated like with HIV. And Porter, who is like, for me, he's a paragon of joy and of power because he's living in his truth now. And it's just an example that life is worth living, and there's still joy to be had even after you're diagnosed with this disease.
Yeah, we've had so many people on the show talk about how it's one thing to come out, it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother thing to come out as HIV positive. And then what struck me too was when he talked about he was of a generation that knew better.
Yeah.
But really,
Because there
I
was so
mean,
much information out
there's
about
so much
how to protect yourself.
information, but there wasn't things like we are in 2000, PrEP wasn't around. And the
Exactly.
amount, if you just do a parallel with the pandemic that we had and how quickly we were able to come out with a vaccination and how still people are living healthy with HIV, but there's
Yeah.
still no cure or one note vaccination. And it goes to
Yeah,
show you,
true.
I've said this before, when they put the scientists to it when it's a global pandemic and it affects everybody.
When
Now,
the
I'm not
money is involved.
right. Now, I'm not comparing. I'm certainly not a scientist or a doctor. I know that.
We're not scientists? I thought
Well,
I was
we
a
like to think that we're smart, but the other thing that struck me too was, being a Black gay actor who is HIV positive is also something that Sebastian Lacaze, who's been a co-host of ours
Yes.
or a guest on our show and our
Mhm.
Clubhouse, who's talked about being half Black, HIV positive, gay, and all the stigma that can come with that too. So huge courage, huge, great feat and example that he's setting. And what did you think about as his character, pray tell, that he's living through it on
I
the
know.
show?
That's has to be such a mind fuck. It has to be
Yeah.
such a mind fuck. I am so glad that you had me catch up on Pose. Don't tell my boyfriend.
Okay.
Shh, everybody, okay? Because the most recent episode, he comes out as HIV. Oh, I don't know spoilers. So there's something that happens there, and I
Yeah.
know that he had so much input on what I feel like he had so much input on it, and it just has to be so cathartic to be able to
Yeah.
work through all of those things there. He even mentioned it in the article. So I love it. I love him even more now. It just makes me want to know him and call him and be like, you're the best.
And again about the being cathartic, what a great space that he's in now. He's got so many projects. He's directing a first movie. He's going to be in the
Yes.
remake of the Brandy Cinderella
Right.
as the fairy
The
godmother.
fairy godmother.
He has brand
and
new.
he's fabulous. I saw a
Yes.
clip of it.
Oh
He
yeah.
is fabulous.
He's got brand new
Everything.
music coming out this summer, which I can't wait for that. He's got he just completed Pose.
Yeah.
More and more to be at the height of his game and to show where we've come. Sidebar note, if you guys
Okay.
haven't noticed already, there's a FX docuseries called Pride on FX, and they did 3 parts of it last Friday, but I would imagine you can on demand it, and the other 3 parts are coming up this coming Friday. They started with the 50s, the Lavender Scare, on and on with political figures that really shaped our LGBTQ history. That is very enlightening. If you think you know a lot about our LGBTQ history, I guarantee you're going to learn more on this incredible docuseries on FX. I don't get any cut out of this. I just know that it's really good to always know our history on this. So
Amen.
It's FX Pride, watch it. I think you guys will like it. And we've got to move on to Vulnerable Voices, our topic that we're doing. We want to say bye to you guys on Instagram Live, but we welcome you over to our Get Vocal stream. It's getvocal, VOKL.com/channel/tags live. And we'll see you over there, we hope. Otherwise, you can see the roundup of this show tomorrow. All right. Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
Bye, Instagram world.
Yes, exactly. So, yes. All right. Well, Vulnerable Voices is the segment that we started since we started the show. And it's where we go a little bit deeper. And it stemmed from a really great article that we were talking about on TAGSPodcast the other day. And it had to do with older gay gentlemen offering 15 life lessons to their younger gay counterparts. And Hunter and Jeremy Ross Lopez and Lincoln were all a part of the conversation. It's episode 265. And we all went through this great article that Lincoln had sent me about some of the life lessons that older gays are sharing with their younger counterparts. And they interviewed a lot of different people. The one that really caught me that I thought would be great for Vulnerable Voices was 2 of them. And one of them was, don't forget your friends. And I'll just read that. Pink Therapy said this. Dominic Davies of UK-based Pink Therapy said, "When you are dating, don't forget to maintain your close friendships. Friends often endure beyond romantic relationships, but they too require nurturing and maintenance." And that struck me a lot, Cody, in that
Yeah.
he did say when you're dating or when you have a relationship, but when you're dating, I think we can get so involved with dating. I remember a story of an acquaintance, friend,
Okay.
and he was going on, I forget how many dinner dates per week, like 7 days a week. He had booked himself in a dinner date and drink dates beforehand and post dates. Like some nights he might have
Hold
3
up.
dates in one night.
With different people?
Different people. He booked, yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. I'm here for that.
But the interesting thing about that was when I questioned my friends, because in between one of these dates, he happened to join our group dinner. And I asked
Okay.
my friends, well, how that's crazy. Your friend is like on a consummate dating roller coaster.
Yeah.
And he had just broken up, though, with a long-term relationship, and he was right in the mix. And they said that his ex-boyfriend, was also in the mix. They're, in my mind, serial daters. And I asked my friends, well, how close is this guy to you guys? I mean, they said, no, not really. He's one of those that's kind of bops in, life of the party, but he's always in search of that other person. So that struck with me, because what we're talking about here is don't forget your friends. In
Mhm.
my mind, that guy was more concerned about getting the next relationship going than he
Yeah.
was developing and maintaining strong friendships. And I don't know, that's one of the things that resonated with me about that. And friendships are so important to me.
Yes, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I don't want to get off track, but I do kind of want to address that.
Yeah.
Because the life coach in me is like, how
Yeah.
comfortable is he being alone or being with himself? That's something I want to know, really. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about don't forget your friends. And I wish that was something that somebody had told me when I was younger, or I feel like I knew when I was younger, but I still fell into the trap that my man is my world. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
It's normal for you to be consumed with your new shiny toy
Yeah.
that you just can't stop playing with.
Uh-huh.
Okay, especially if you're doing it right.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
Yes, but at the end of the day, you one person can't always be your end all be all. That's how I just feel about it. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you. And I haven't been in a relationship in a long time. I have cultivated some really wonderful friendships. And this last year, I wrote some notes, was a really good year to take stock of my friendships as we were all quarantined and kind of move away ones that weren't really serving me as well anymore, and cultivating stronger, more meaningful, peer-based, supportive was another word I wrote. There was another thing in the article: support others and they will support you. And that has to do with friendships to me too, that I've had more with my newer cultivated friendships, or the ones that I've taken stock in and re committed to, that I support them and I feel like they support me back. That I don't know that I always got that before. You're one of them for 100%. And so I think that
I feel the same about you. Thank you, darling.
I love it. And while I feel that, hot boys come and go, I'm going to be going to, I hopefully will have some stories going to Prospect Park and lurking around and reporting back, that good friends are ones that I can share these things with, and all of you all too. Because
Exactly.
you guys are my friends that are listening to this, and I can't always do that immediately with somebody, and I don't always know that I'm going to be in this relationship for how long, right?
Yeah. There's
So
so
I
many uncertainties when it comes to a romantic relationship, especially in the beginning stages, which is when you automatically want to be with that person all the time. So it's good to cultivate your your friendships just so that you have that additional support.
I agree too. And I'm one of those host types. I used to throw a lot of parties, and we certainly do this. And I'm always concerned with making sure all my friends get along too. So it's really important for me, for a lot of my friendships, to, if I am dating somebody, for them to actually like the person that I'm dating. That's
Yeah.
really important to me. I would much, I would choose often my friends over a date, I think. And I don't know what that says about me, but I hope that sometimes those merge, that it can all
Yeah.
coexist. But I
That's
don't
the
know. What
best
are,
case
yeah,
scenario, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for you to meet my new boo. And we need to set up that brunch. It's been way
Yes.
too long. You've been back and you're settled now. So I need
Uh-huh.
for it to happen within the next week. Okay.
We can make that happen. We can make that. So, what are your thoughts on this as you're in a new relationship, and how are you guys navigating? As we just talked about, hot vax summer. Certainly, you're going to be going out more. I'm going to be meeting your boo. So many
Hmm.
others are going to. You're going to be going to bars together. Have you talked about what that world will be like, and your various friendships?
Well, cultivating friendships and maintaining the friendships that we already have is something that's important to both of us. And I support him in cultivating his friendships. Go out, have your time with your friends, and he supports me in making sure that the bonds that I have with my friends are intact and strong. And that, I think that's the best way to go about it, because if you can't be supportive of your romantic partner and their friends, then how do you expect to really get along with them, is my question.
That's
You
a
know?
great question. And I love that you said we support each other going out and maintaining each other's separate friendships. Obviously,
Yeah.
you guys are going to be going out together and
We go
introducing
out
each other's.
a lot together.
Right. But, I had a friend that is currently in a relationship, and the boyfriend always is around, and
Ooh.
he wants to keep it a little bit more casual, but the
Okay.
other ones keeps the newer boyfriend keeps inserting himself into almost every single day of the week plans. So where my friend and I want to like have like a day out or a night out, the other one will say, "Oh, I'll meet you guys later." And I think it's healthier to be able to, no, no, why don't you have, I'm going to see you Friday, we're going to see each other Sunday, but why don't Saturday you do your thing with your friends and I'm going to do my thing with my friends? It develops trust in each
Hmm.
other, and it also keeps the friendships that you already have alive and well.
And it gives you something to talk about when you actually come back together.
Thank
That's
you.
important too, because you have to have lives outside of your partner, because what are you going to discuss? What are you going to kind of
Yeah, you can't just talk about
connect on?
work. I
Exactly.
mean,
You
how
can't just.
boring.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for me, and you just spoke on like mental health, and being supported by one person only is not healthy for your mental health. Um, if you look at it like a bridge has multiple buttresses. And
Oh,
I had to Google that word.
I was gonna say that's a big word for you, Cody, Mr.
I didn't have to
Maurice.
Google that. So, but yeah, so you have to have multiple people supporting you at one time. Also, you don't want to put that pressure on your partner as well, of being your sole support system.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it on another show where another couple, somebody moved from another state to be with this
Okay.
one guy and hadn't cultivated any of his own friendship. So all he relied on was his new boyfriend's friendship in this new town. And I think you got to question that too. I would be a little leery if I met somebody and they said they had just moved here, literally weeks, and didn't know anybody, and all of a sudden they were wanting to be in a relationship with me. I might say, you know what, we can date, but I think you need to kind of meet some people first.
Yeah, get to know people, get a support system in this new area.
And
You
that's an
need to
exciting
learn about it.
time, right?
Yeah, for sure. You need to see what's out there, honestly.
It's scary, but it's an exciting time. And back to having a hot vax summer, I'm all for just having some solidarity, some time alone, some time with my friends, and
Same
yeah,
here.
I
And being naked.
and being naked and going to Prospect Park into the nooks and crannies. I will hopefully have some stories for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we
maybe
starting
next.
your OnlyFans? Oh wait, no.
Oh,
Offline,
listen, let me
offline.
just go in there and see what's going on in those
Okay.
hills. All right. Well, thanks for playing on
The
another
hills.
episode of The Hills of Vulnerable Voices. We want to hear from you on how you feel about that. You can always DM us on Instagram at TAGSPodcast, and we will read some of your comments on that. Thanks for playing on that. Well, speaking of older gays, and I really love that article. I have it up on TAGSPodcast.com. There was another article that was similar related. It was just about one couple, and it's entitled, David Hudson wrote this on Queer Tea, and
Mhm.
he said it's entitled "A Gay Couple Feature on New Billboard Campaign Which Promotes the Joy of Sex in Later Life." So a long-term gay couple are among the models to feature on a taboo busting advertising campaign. Its aim is to highlight the fact that seniors benefit from sex and intimacy just as much as young people. The campaign was launched in the UK at the end of April. It was put together by the respected counseling charity Relate. The organization is well known across the country for providing counseling to couples facing relationship problems. It's, quote, "Let's Talk the Joy of Later Life Sex" campaign featured on billboards for 2 weeks before moving to print and online spaces. It featured a diverse range of older people enjoying moments of intimacy, and the campaign was shot by the celebrated photographer Rankin, better known for his fashion work.
Mhm.
Relate says it wanted to start a conversation about sex later in life. According to a recent study by 3Gem Market Research, 2/3 of over 65-year-olds, 67% say sex and intimacy for their age group is rarely or never represented in media, compared with a fifth, 20%, of 18 to 24-year-olds. And furthermore, only 1/5 of people across the UK think society is okay talking about sex and intimacy in people aged over 60. So
Wow.
I really like this campaign. And one of the things that they further talk about, I don't know if you read the whole piece, Cody,
I did.
but they talked about expressing emotion through, yes, of course, sex and later on in life, but expressing emotion through things like a gentle touch or a kiss on the cheek can be as intimacy
Yeah.
as much as sex. And somebody wrote, what we're trying to do today is open up a society-wide conversation about the fact that sex and intimacy, whatever that might mean, can be as important for older people as it is for anyone else. And the first things that come to my mind is, in an first of all, at 50 myself right now, I feel like
Mhm.
I'm better at sex and more explorative now than I was. Of course I am, because I know more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I'm
true.
more in touch with what I want, and things. I'm not as afraid to explore
Yeah.
things and initiate sex acts with different people. I'll go out by myself, which is something I wouldn't do before. I'll flirt with somebody and maybe make that connection. I said I'm going to go to Prospect Park. That is not something I would have done back in the day. I'll take my clothes off.
Oh.
So, and then if you just think about it logically, Cody, with even if you had issues with erectile dysfunction, there are so many. Blue Chew was one of our sponsors for so
Mhm.
long. There's so many helpful aids out there that can help you become more freer and explorative. And often that comes with age. So why wouldn't we think that people as we get older wouldn't be intimate and sexual?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that our society is very accepting of older people and seeing them as sexual and viable, and that has attributed to a lot of my hangups as far as growing older is concerned. I actually just had this conversation with my best friend maybe like 2 days ago, and he was like, "Why are you so hung up on aging?" And I was like, "Well, I have a fear that I won't be as sexy or as attractive to people when as I grow older." And I mean, yeah. So, what were you gonna say?
You go ahead.
But I can guarantee you that I am just as horny and I am just as sexy as I was when I might even be hornier than I was at 20.
Exactly. And I think you are sexier than ever before.
Oh, thank you, darling.
And what I think a
Likewise.
lot of us realize is the more we learn, and if you're taking care of your health, and no one's saying that you need to be a gym bunny, but really if you are somewhat taking care of yourself, whatever that means for you, chances are you're going to
Exactly.
have a better outlook on life, and sex just doesn't go away in your mind. So you're going to see inspiring things. And I know for me in particular, I just learned more about what I like. I mean,
Yeah.
the BDSM culture in particular, I didn't learn until my 40s on what that
Yeah.
community was all about, what some of the practices are, and the safe spaces that you can express yourself. And when I learned about that, I was like, wow, there's a plethora of, and it's not always about coming and having, you know, 5-minute sex. It's about
Yeah.
elongated, really meaningful, really, yeah,
Intimate
intimate.
experiences. Yes, I agree with you. I guarantee that I am 100% better at sex than I was when I was younger. So
I love that.
why not why not celebrate that?
Greg, thank you. He says he agrees with the statement I said. He's 66 now. Yeah, just curious, Greg, do you feel more sexually, I don't know, relevant now at your age now? I would love to hear from that if you care to chime in on that, where you're at with that. But this campaign, I think, is really important too. We should really
Yeah.
talk briefly about this campaign because I love that it was in the UK, and oftentimes our friends overseas seem to be a little bit more ahead of the curve when it comes to things of this nature.
I agree with
And
you.
I do think America is an ageist society at times in general,
Mhm.
not everybody, but in general. We're certainly trying to change that on this show, on this platform. But what a great campaign. Last week on Vulnerable Voices, we were talking about disability and sex.
Mhm.
And this week, I just think we need more examples. We need to hear that, yes, people that have disabilities are sexually active. We need to see more examples of that. We need to see campaigns that aren't just showing younger people that are great, and I'm all about that too, but showing a variety of, because the only way we're going to change a societal mental construct is by seeing more examples, whether that's social
Yes.
media, whether it's podcasts, whether it's billboards like this and magazine campaigns. We're not going to change our LGBTQ mental states if we don't see examples of it.
I agree with you. We're not a monolith. We're not only one type of person.
Yeah.
So I think that there should be more and more examples of that. I looked at the campaign. I saw some of the beautiful photos, and they're gorgeous. They're so intimate, like you said, and loving and sensual, everything that I want to be when I'm 60. So
Yeah.
kudos to them.
The other interesting thing about it too is that they said it also gives a lot more, what's the word I'm trying to say? In other words, yes, sex is sex, and we want to be able to be sexually active as everybody wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
However, intimacy is another key component to it all. In fact, I often want intimacy in any relationships that I have. And I think for a lot of people, for so long, we thought if you're not having sex or you can't just get it up at that moment, that game over.
Yeah.
When in reality, there's so much more to explore, and intimacy and various touch that we've
Yeah.
talked about on the show.
There's a picture in the campaign of a couple. They're a straight couple. It's okay. We accept them still.
We do, yeah.
They're just cuddling, and the man is kissing the woman, and it's just beautiful. And I'm in love with it. So I want that campaign here. We need to get it here.
Yeah, I think sometimes we just immediately go to it's sex or nothing at all, and we erase all of the various components that can come in there, particularly with intimacy. Did Greg say something, share something?
Greg did say, he says he's a very new gay and learning so much so fast. It's balls to the wall with him now. Oh, okay, Greg.
Okay, right. I like that.
And he feels like he can't get enough sex now. Look at that. 66 and hornier than me. And he's he's so willing to explore so many things. And I hope this is okay for me to say, Greg, but his profile picture is he's in a leather daddy hat with a harness on. So yes, keep exploring, keep learning, keep loving.
Keep sharing with us too, because you're making us hot and bothered over here on the tag set.
That's right.
It. Thank you for sharing them. Well, all right. We've come to the time, which is our favorite segment. By the way, I will post that this article on TAGSPodcast.com. Love you back, Greg. And so you can read it too, because it's a really beautiful article. Both of them that we were just quoting are great articles that I think people should read. All right. Well, it's time for the segment that we've come to know and love. It's called Thirst Trap by Straight Up Gay Porn. They do this every week. We love to weigh in. It's based on pictures. This week it was 15 gay porn stars who took some of the hottest, thirstiest photos or videos. And our job for you, since this is an audio podcast, although if you're watching it, we can't show you the pictures. Maybe at some point we can. We don't want to get taken down yet. But we will post this up on TAGSPodcast.com for you to weigh in. Or maybe Cody will put this in.
I put it in the chat box already. Good. Greg, take a peek, Greg. We love to hear your comments on it.
Well, there was so many on this one. Jaden Jax, just from the get-go, is giving me a little bit of Lenny Kravitz moment. It's what I imagine Lenny Kravitz if he had his legs spread with a velour robe on, the beard, sunglasses, and had his legs spread open. This is what his dick would look like. It's just delicious, and it's serving it up. I just want to bury my face right in there. But I think the one that really caught my eye that I couldn't help has to kind of do with Prospect Park and me going, maybe that's what I was thinking about, Cody, is when I go to Prospect Park and lurking around the hilly area and seeing what I just saw some people lurking in these areas, and my friend confirmed that, oh yeah, that's where guys go. It's a dead end over there in that part of the hillside. And just, maybe happens. Well, this one goes to, on this week's Thirst Trap, Corey Kane, Cory, Corey Kane, at Corey Kane XXX, posted a video of himself jerking off near the water and letting guys passing by watch his new favorite cruising spot. I could only hope that it'll be Prospect Park and then I'll run into him. When I
I
tell you that
know.
he had his pants down and a t-shirt on, sunglasses on, and a baseball cap, his thick dick as he's jerking off, as he's looking over left and right shoulder to see. It's kind of an interesting video because you kind of wonder, is he looking around to see who's going to catch me, or is he looking around to see, oh, I want to catch these people catching me doing what I'm doing? It's either way. Well, let's just say I had fun watching this earlier, and I hope to find Corey Kane in my Prospect Park when I go out there. It's Corey Kane XXX on Twitter. Cody, go.
Nice. I love that. I gotta watch that video later. So mine is Felix Fox.
Okay, now.
And he's closer to the bottom, pun intended.
Uh-huh.
And it's a video of him, and he's standing, and he's basically just he's presenting his ass to be taken. Okay.
Oh, I see. That is so you, Cody. Some of us just do not deviate.
It is a glorious ass. When I saw this, I was like, well, I have to pick this one now. And he's so lean and muscly, and he's rubbing his toned legs, and you can see his beautiful hole. And like you said, I'm not deviating from anything that I've chosen in the past couple weeks. I feel like I'm actually describing something that I picked 2 weeks ago. But it's okay because I'm on brand, so it's all good, right?
I love it. I love it. He is super hot. You can't go wrong with any of these picks. Whoever comes up with this, we have the easy job, but whoever comes up with this, what a fun job to pull these, because it's not just pictures, it's videos, and they have to scour. What a hard job they have, Cody.
I know, right? I want it.
Yeah. Well, we want you to weigh in, absolutely. And I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com. Let us know. DM me at TAGSPodcast, and we'll report on your favorites. This has been a lot of fun, and whoa, this just whipped by. I want to leave you with a song since we started the show off.
Are you singing?
I'm not, but in cheersing Hot Vax Summer.
Okay.
I want to tell you about a song, one of my favorite songs. It's a classic by Sly and the Family Stone. It's called Hot Fun in the Summertime by Sly and the Family Stone. It's a classic. Listen to it. I think you will really love it. It couldn't work better with Hot Vax Summer. And it's one of those groovy jams that starts off with the piano riff, and then Sly comes in. It's just a groovy, fun. I know I'm showing my age by saying groovy and talking about Sly and the Family Stone, but that's okay.
It is groovy. You sent it to me earlier, and I had a good listen, and I was dancing around and making my notes. And
did you like it? Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Who doesn't love Sly and the Family Stone? Anybody with good taste loves Sly and the Family Stone.
Thanks, Greg. Greg loves it too. All right. From his era. I know. But you will love it too. If you don't see me in the Prospect Park lurking around, and please say hi if you do, but otherwise we're here next week. We also, by the way, we have our Clubhouse
yes, we do.
Clubhouse now. It's also available on iOS devices as well as Androids, and our new room that we've been doing is switching from Thursday, and we're going to be on Tuesday nights. So beginning next Tuesday, and from there on out, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time or 6 to 8 Pacific Time. Clubhouse, LGBTQ plus positivity, sex positivity will be there, but I'll post that on TAGSPodcast.com. Thank you, Cody Maurice Doggett.
Thank you, my darling. It's always a pleasure.
Follow Cody at Mr. Maurice on Instagram, or he's a life coach, y'all. Follow him at KMD Coaching. All right, now, thanks so much. Get vaccinated so we can have a hot vax summer. We'll talk to you
Woo.
soon.